sunny Sunday, and I naturally woke up at 8 a.m. this morning, and it's 9 a.m. now, and I am all ready for the day, which is wonderful because I get to enjoy the entire day exactly as I want. Yesterday I headed out into London for a bookish day, which is a separate video, and the day really showed me two things. Firstly, I went to a book bar and a silent book club, and it made me realize how often when I pick up a book I end up just getting distracted and doing something else. And secondly, how nice it is to just sit and focus on one task at a time. So I want to bring that into today and into like moving forward in general into my week. So yesterday I was reading the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. I started the first book, but I ended up DNFing the entire series, which is so sad, but that is what happened. And so I have since started reading Red Rising, which I started last night, and I'm on chapter 2. I'm about halfway through chapter 2, so I want to do some reading of this today. There are also a couple of other things that I want to get done today as well, which will be really nice just to enjoy my whole Sunday. So what I'm going to do first is make myself a cup of tea, gonna get my cozy chair. I did think I might read in the garden, but the sun hasn't quite gotten to the garden yet, and I don't want to go straight out into a pollen zone when I'm struggling with hay fever a little bit at the moment. So I think I'm going to do a bit of a reading sprint this morning in my room, but I will head out into the garden later on today when I do some other hobbies. Like I said, I'll be reading Red Rising. Yesterday in the silent book club, we did one 45-minute sprint and one 40-minute sprint. So I think I'm going to do a 40-minute sprint this morning to read some of Red Rising, and let's get into it. He was a man of words and peace, but his notion was freedom, laws of our own. His dreams were his weapons, his legacy is the dancer's rebellion. It died with him on the scaffold, 9 men at once, doing the devil's dance, kicking and flailing till only he was left. Okay, so I did my 40-minute timer, which was so nice. So I've just started chapter 4. I'm essentially getting into the story and the characters, how the system is set up. This is the first book in its series. I think there are 6 books in the series, but you have like the first 3, which are the first trilogy, and this is the first book out of all of them. So essentially what's happened is we've been introduced to Darrow, who is a red. You basically have different categories of people, and reds are the people that live on Mars, and they are tasked with extracting precious metals to one day make the planet habitable for other categories of people as well. That's essentially what's happening at the moment, but we're finding out about the systems, about the world, kind of the propaganda that's going on, and we're hinted at some rebellions that have occurred and may start to occur again. But that's where I've got to so far. Like I said, I'm on chapter 4, so I'm pretty early on, but I'm enjoying it so far. I have DNF'd a lot of books in the past month, okay? So I had my April lineup, which had a few different categories. We had reading, shows, self-studying, projects and events, and all of them I did really well on, apart from the reading, where I DNF'd so many books I thought that I would absolutely love. And already I've even DNF'd the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy, which I thought would be one of my favorite reads of the year. So I think possibly my taste in books is changing a little bit. I'm branching out to different genres. I was also reading a lot of the same type of book quite often, so I think I might have been getting a little bit bored in that sense. But Red Rising, I think, is a sci-fi. Yes, okay, so Red Rising is considered dystopian and sci-fi, which are kind of the genres that I do want to read more of, and just in general I want to branch a little bit out of romantic fantasy / romantasy, because I think I was reading it too much and I was getting a little bit bored. So I still love a romantasy book, but I just need to space them out a bit more so that I can branch out and try other books, other genres, and really broaden my horizons when it comes to reading. So I've heard a lot of good things about this series, so hence why I started it. I'm liking it so far. We'll see how that goes. Now, what I want to do next is I probably will head into the garden, I think. I want to edit and schedule a video, which is my bookish day in London yesterday. So I want to get that ready to go. And then I also want to do some art journaling and book journaling. Essentially, with the art journal, yesterday or Friday, I can't remember which day, earlier on in this week, I basically did a couple of turtle paintings. So this was one with watercolor, another one with watercolor and pen, and then this was with gouache. So I definitely need more practice with all of them, but I just want to write some notes down with how I felt about it. I think I preferred the gouache over the watercolor, but I do just want to practice with both of them and kind of figure out how I want to apply them in my art. But I do want to update my art journal with that. And then my book journal, I have my April TBR listed on there, so I want to write down the things that I read for April, and then I also want to write my May TBR. Now, my main May TBR was actually going to be the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy, but because I've already DNF'd that, I think I might add a couple of other books to it instead, just to make sure that I actually have a TBR. So I'm probably going to update that as well. But first of all, let's head into the garden. Let's get this video edited and scheduled. But it was so nice to do some reading in the morning and to have like a dedicated timer set to it so that I didn't pick up my phone, I didn't pick anything else up and get distracted. I was just sat and reading. So I definitely want to do that more often. But I don't have to do 40 minutes every time, but it was a nice sprint to do. Let's head outside. So it is a lovely temperature outside and it's so nice to be doing my hobbies outdoors. I have in fact updated my art journal and I really like how it looked. Earlier on this week, I was thinking about just doing my art journal for this and then not doing it again. But I actually think it's quite useful to put in some sketches and things that I'm working on and just write some thoughts about it. I'm also struggling to figure out what the difference is between my art journal and my sketchbook, but I think my art journal is a bit more reflective and my sketchbooks are more focused on practice and experimentation, so they do cross over a little bit, but I am liking my art journal at the moment. And so what I did is I have 3 paintings in here. So I have this first one, which is watercolor paint, second one, which is watercolor paint, and then I've got this third one, which is the gouache, which is my favorite one. So I've just got them layered, and then I wrote some thoughts about the subject and how I felt with each of the paint types. What I want to do now is update my book journal. So I want to update my 2026 TBR, my April TBR, and then also set up my May TBR. So those are the main things that I want to focus on. And then I'm thinking of also updating my journal just about yesterday's bookish day in London with the book bar and the silent book club. They did give us like a bookmark yesterday, which I wanted to put in here, and I saw it this morning, but I don't know where I put it. So I'm going to have to find that before I update this, but that's kind of what I want to do next. First and foremost, let's see what we did. The Book of Azrael books 2 to 3, I DNF'd those, unfortunately. Lady of Darkness series, I haven't got to reading yet. Heavenly Bodies, I haven't read yet. Secret of Alchemy, oh, I did read that. That was quite fun. I read that recently. I quite liked that book. That's by Stephanie Garber. A classic, I did read that. A thriller, I also read that. So for the classic, I read Pride and Prejudice, and for a thriller, I listened to the audiobook of We Used to Live Here. Where's my blue? So that's pretty good. I've only got 2 left on this side. I am thinking I might read Heavenly Bodies pretty soon. Lady of Darkness might be later on in the year though. Then we have Once Upon a Broken Heart. I actually just DNF'd this, which is so sad. The Hunger Games I haven't got to yet. Light Wielder and Fury Bound, they're not out yet. I think they're out soon though. Red Rising trilogy, I've actually just started reading Red Rising. Twilight of Pretty Little Lies, I haven't read yet. The Shadowhunter World, I haven't got to yet. When the Moon Hatched, If We Were Villains. So this is the thriller. So I don't know why I've got them as 2 separate things. So that's pretty good. We're getting through it for sure. Then my April TBR. So, right, I think I'm gonna want to color these or outline them. So Thorns of Fire, I DNF'd this, which is so sad. These 2 are part of a series, so I DNF'd both. Legendborn, I really liked this book and I actually caught up with the series as a whole. So I read Legendborn, Bloodmarked and Oathbound, and then there's a 4th book that is yet to come out, but I'm all caught up on those, which is fun. Then we have books 2 to 4 of the Book of Azrael series, which I actually DNF'd too. That is majority of the books DNF'd, which is sad. But it did give me time to pick up some other books as well. So the other books that I read instead, I do have them listed down. Oh, I realised I messed up. I have not read If We Were Villains. I got the titles completely confused. So this is going to be on my TBR for May though. Anyway, these are the books that I read in April. I'm gonna make this nicer to look at soon. I don't know why there's such a big gap here. Anyway, I'm gonna make this prettier to look at in a minute, but what I'm going to do first is set up my May TBR. So I am back in my room because I want to add some stickers and things, and all of those are in my room. And it's easier to go through them here rather than taking some downstairs, not liking them, coming back up to get other ones. So I'm going to finish updating my book journal and I will show you once it's done. And then hopefully I can also find the bookmark that I want to put into my journal because I don't know where I put it, but I will find it. This is all updated too. I think it's so cute and I'm loving using this journal. I'm really liking it. So that's all updated now, and it's so nice to just focus on each hobby rather than doing something whilst the hobby. Usually I would watch a TV show or I would listen to an audiobook or I'd listen to music, but it was really nice to just focus on each hobby as they are rather than trying to do multiple things at the same time. So I'm really happy with this update too. What I'm going to do now is it's actually, I think, 1 p.m. I had my lunch earlier, kind of like before I went outside to do my hobbies. I did have my lunch. So I'm going to continue reading Red Rising. I might go on a walk later on. I was thinking of maybe doing some sketching and stuff, but I think I might do that in the week. I actually want to chill a little bit more and just read. So I'm going to continue doing that. Actually, I need to tidy everything up in my room and also the stuff that I left downstairs outside. So I'll do that first and then I will get to reading. Okay, so it has been a few hours. I have spent the afternoon in the garden. I edited this video and then I was, of course, reading Red Rising. I am now on part 2 and I have just started chapter 10. I'm really enjoying it. I'm liking the development that we're having, the characters that are being introduced, learning about the world that we're in. I'm definitely intrigued and I want to keep going. So I'm really happy that I decided to pick up this book and that I've started it finally. Now, I did look on my Waterstones orders because I remember when I read Diabound that I ordered Furybound, like I pre-ordered it, and apparently it comes out May the 5th. So I'm adding that to my May TBR. However, that being said, if I do enjoy this as much as I think I will, then I will probably continue with the series. I don't think I'll read all 6 books consecutively, but I can definitely see myself reading the first trilogy and then I can go back to my May TBR. So that's definitely a possibility. Today, I have really enjoyed this creative reset to get back to kind of feel ready for a new week. I've also really liked that each hobby that I've done, I've completely focused on each of them. Normally when I would book journal or art journal, I would listen to an audiobook or watch a TV show at the same time. And I do like doing that every now and then, but today was a nice reminder that it's also nice to just focus on each hobby, which was really good to do. The past couple of days have also made me realize that I've been neglecting reading, so I'm glad that I have brought it back, and I think this has introduced me to a new genre that I'm really going to enjoy and that I can read so much more in, so I'm looking forward to that as well. Also, it's so nice that it's been sunny. It's really making me feel welcome into the new seasons and just looking forward to more bookish days in London or in the garden and just enjoying the sun and being outdoors as much as possible. But thank you so much for spending the day with me and I will see you in the next one. Bye!